That was very different in various parts of the project, and I suppose we were quite few people, or there were quite few people who was all doing through. We had one main person doing a lot of because this was not the biggest event, but not the small size. My colleague Amalie, who did, I think, in the work time probably 70 or 80% of all the work. So she had, she and I, to the extent I did anything, was the sort of the basic role really of defining the project, writing minutes, making sure everything happened, reminding people, getting all those things. And so it is very much our initiative. But then we had quite clearly defined roles for other partners in this. We had one partner dealing with all the practical issues concerning location, setting it up, defining people. Again, we did, but of course with input from everybody. Nobody did something totally alone. But then we had a partner who was very much the reach out to enterprises. Both in different countries, in Denmark, and that was two different partners, and then we had, of course, also then we had sort of special knowledge partners, you might say, people who had a knowledge which we needed to carry out this project, which in time was very maybe it was quite limited, but was essential to be sure that we got it more or less right. I think it was the things that went well was very much that we was just planning together, and it was very essential that we had a quite sharp structure in what should be done by everybody, and so we didn't just leave it to people, but we made a common plan where everything for all partners were part of it, and didn't always work perfectly, but at least we also, because we had this plan, we could also see when things were not working. We could control or catch up as a group and say, hey, there should be done more about that. So this, to have pretty sharp, you could call, I think we call it playbook or something like that, or rules, or sort of defining what you have to do in different times, and that's very good. It doesn't mean you have to follow them, because life happens, and. But when you have this thing, you also understand what you should do, and also find out that we shouldn't do that or that bit. But then you had to discuss it. I don't think we had some major disagreements, so we took them as a team, as the group of people who were there. Of course, again, it was not total democracy, also because you could say that it matters who has the funding, and of course, so that sense. But in the situation, because we had also defined very concretely from the beginning what we had to do, and the size of the budget and things like that, so people knew what kind of waters they were swimming around in. So we, I think the only place where we had, I wouldn't even say disagreement, but we had discussions, of course, because then, as we had these different partners with different intermediaries with different constituents. So we had the film people, and we had the design people, and we also had the furniture people. So of course there was a little bit sort of infighting about where should the main focus be and stuff like that. But that was only healthy. But it was, of course. But again, there was nothing that I don't think we never outvoted anybody. It was just a discussion. We have a comparatively big institutional experience to come from, so it's not something we didn't have to build up the competences of the organizations, which can be. So we came with the positive, probably also negative, but the positive baggage we all had, and that made it work. It was not. We didn't actually, in terms of many other projects I've been part of, we didn't use a lot of time on this because we understood for us. But as we are talking in the concept of learning, maybe you have to use a lot of time because maybe people don't have that experience, or maybe they need to. Again, because in other projects, you need to use a lot of time to talk yourself into what should happen there, and find this common role or a common goal and the different roles. So, but for this particular project, it was not so big. And the third thing also, what you're actually doing. I mean, because this was an idea which was comparatively simple, but very, very well executed, I think. But if you have something very complex, then of course you need a lot more time or space to talk about it. And if you have many variables, we didn't have many variables.